Sports for Real with Coach Hall. You know, Colorado new head football coach Deion Sanders is in the news again, primarily for some comments he's been making on some of these interviews he's been doing lately. Yesterday he interviewed with The Pivot, or it debuted with The Pivot podcast, where you have Fredtaylor, Channingcrowder, and Ryan Clark, hosting the show. And of course, when you give an interview, you're going to ask the whole spectrum from a person to see exactly where you can take the interview to get further insights into these particular people. So of course, when you interview Deion Sanders, it's obvious that he's going to talk about Jackson and the move from Jackson up to Colorado. He hasn't played a game yet at Colorado, so Jackson is still fresh in a lot of people's minds. So it's obvious that the interviewers are going to ask these questions. First of all, you can't get upset at the man for doing an interview and answering the questions that's being asked of him when you know full well that they're going to ask about Jackson at least up until the time Colorado starts to play football games. But the comment that most people are upset about is what he said about moving up. Nobody ever accused George Jefferson of moving up. Well, that's correct. Sanders himself has moved up, and people have criticized him for moving up. Not necessarily because he moved up, it's just the fact that he moved from a predominantly black program in Jackson, Mississippi, to a predominantly white program in Boulder, Colorado. So a lot of people are going to be upset just for the basics of that move. But they're taking it like he's taking shots at Jackson. Listen, we all know that there's a big disparity between mostly black schools and mostly white schools. They get all the money to buy all these extra stuff that you most likely you can't get at a black school. So there's no reason to even harp too much on that, in my opinion. But they're going to roast him every chance he get. He made those comments about the qualifications about some of the players that he want. Well, if you go for a job anywhere else, they're going to ask you based on the qualifications they're looking for. Now, he said it in a joking manner, but he was deadly serious about the things that he wants. There's nothing wrong with that either. But the big thing is everything that this man says is going to be taken in some kind of way by whoever wants to put it in the way that they want to put it. So there's a no-win situation there. But if you look at the bigger scheme of things, this man is really playing chess while everybody else is playing checkers. What he's really doing, in my opinion, he's recruiting. They take offense that he's always talking about the facilities at Colorado. Yes, he's going to build up the facilities at Colorado because he's always looking down the road thinking about how can I bring other players up here. It's a tough sell. Fredtaylor even said the same thing himself. Not directly, but he said that, well, if I'm from Florida and I'm used to the sunshine, why would I come to Colorado? I don't want to come up here and freeze. And then Sanders went into how he would try to close the gap. The exact thing that you would want to hear from a coach if you're trying to get a certain player to come to your particular institution. You got to be positive. He's positive, just like he was positive at Jackson. Now, one thing I will not touch, a lot of people are attacking the fact that he said the thing about God calling him. Well, he also said in the interview, people say they like when I say God called me to Jackson, but why can't that same God call me to go somewhere else? He didn't like that, especially in a Bible Belt region like Jackson, Mississippi. So I can understand their viewpoint, but at the same time, he has the freedom to make the choices he feels is necessary to move himself and whoever he takes along with him forward. So I just want to make a few comments about what I heard, and this is the thing that's lighting up the internet now, all these interview comments that he's making and they're taken out of context. I didn't get any of that severe negativity that's being said, but I can understand where they're coming from. But again, Sanders is playing chess, and all these emotional people, they're just playing checkers. Sports for real.